Whenever you.
Hey, Mark, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Get comfortable.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about some rising inventory levels that we've been really observing over the last 8 weeks, especially in June and our July updates. We saw inventories really spike, and we're seeing a lot of articles come up. And I'll just read the headline, and then we'll kind of talk about it in our discussions. Wave of mortgage renewals dives owners to list homes, analysts say. I just skimmed the article too, and one big point that I'm going to talk to that they made highlights on that is that some of these people are in trouble, but they're not willing to take a loss on the property. Big mistake. And I'm seeing that in the marketplace today.
Well, and part of the reason too, I wanted to talk about it because I've had a lot of comments that we keep talking about the interest rate rising, the inventory rising.
Yeah.
But we're not saying why. And part of it is because we don't know exactly everybody's motivation to sell.
No, we don't.
But when I came across this article, I was like, wow, this explains a lot.
Yeah, it was a pretty decent article.
I'll pull it up.
Yeah, I go through some highlights of it. I think, my take is that I know these people, it's never fun taking a loss. Let's be honest. It sucks. But if you're in a bad financial position, you need to, because it doesn't get better. It gets worse. And you never want to let a property go power sale. You think your problems are tough now. Just wait till they take it over.
Oh yeah, and they add
$40,000-$50,000
in fees,
minimum
penalties, and
you pay for the property management fees, $80-$100 a day for people, going to check on them once in a while. It's a license to print money.
Yeah.
So don't go down that road, folks. You need to adjust to what the market is today and make decisions based on that, not based on a market or when I bought it, so I need this. The market doesn't give a shit. They don't care what you bought it for. They care about what the market pricing is today.
I'll start going over this a bit. With many Canadian homeowners facing a sharp rise in mortgage payments, many of them have decided to bail, resulting in the highest number of Toronto housing units for sale in more than a decade, and signaling a big drop in prices in the coming months. In Toronto, a city where 2/3 of the country's condominiums are sold, 2/3, considered a bellwether for other big metropolitan areas, inventories have pushed past highs reached 10 years ago, data showed. At the same time, sales have also lagged.
Yep.
Rising inventories with anemic sales show a high degree of stress in Canada's biggest property market. Real estate consultant says it indicates either a string of defaults or a price correction is in the offing.
And to saying that before you read on, like we see a lot of inventory sitting on the market that's not doing nothing, but we also see, in June, it was July, I think it was June, sorry, where we saw that all the inventory is 100%. We only seen 18% of the inventory turn. That's the inventory that, was priced properly to begin with, right? Or they've had multiple price points reductions to get to that level, right? And usually time will do that, but there's still
I was telling you last week, I had a call from somebody about, thinking of listing and downsizing a bit. And I said, well, she was like, we don't have to sell. And I said, well, do you think selling when you have the highest inventory in 10 years and the lowest sales in years, you think that's a good time to sell? Because it's horrible.
No, it's not. And there's someone that just wants to test the market. This isn't a test the market thing. That was back in the COVID days, test the market. This is not a test the market.
No, because you got the highest inventory and the shittiest sales. So just stay put if you don't have to do anything. So fueling the surge in available properties Are homeowners and investors who bought houses and apartments 5 years ago at record low mortgage rates aiming to grab a piece of Toronto's lucrative rental market. But those mortgages are now coming up for renewal in an interest rate environment starkly different than it was 5 years ago. Mortgage rates are sharply higher, although the Bank of Canada has recently started to guide them down. In Canada, mortgages are typically for 25 years and renewed every 3 or 5 years, in contrast to the United States, where homeowners can enjoy a flat rate for the entire life of a 15 or 30-year mortgage.
Isn't that nice, eh? The rate never changes.
Yes.
Wow. You can refi, move.
Yeah. Under current rates, many homeowners would have their mortgage payments double, according to a calculation by RateHub, a website that compares mortgage offerings. Next year, roughly 300 billion of mortgages at chartered banks will come up from renewal. Some of these are investors who now just want to walk away from their units because they can't afford it. At the same time, many are also reluctant to lower asking prices and book losses on their investment, at least for now. There's just limited willingness to lose money. Seems like nobody has adjusted their expectations to a market in which they aren't going to make a profit. Okay. The trend is especially pronounced in the condominium market, where inventory is at a historic high. I don't have to say who said it. The current supply would typically take more than 5 months to sell. It's a buyer's market with no buyers. According to the Toronto Real Estate Board, a group representing 70,000 brokers and salespeople, listings have risen by almost 25% in the first 3 months of 2024 for the same period a year ago. Meanwhile, sales have edged up by only 5.3%. The Bank of Canada's next decision rate comes on July 24th, with a majority of economists expecting another cut of 25 basis points in the overnight rate. Last month, it trimmed the benchmark rate to 4.75 from 5% for the first time in 4 years. But economists say that even as the central bank's rate come down by 100 basis points, it would have a muted impact on mortgage rates coming up for renewal. 5-year fixed rates are instead linked to long-term bond yields, which might hover in the 3% to 4% range. Something's got to give, forecasting that Toronto condo prices might drop by 10% by the end of the year.
Tons of inventory. And we're seeing tons of inventory in Barrie on the condo market. What did we say? Condo market sales are down 45%.
Hold on, I'm going to share my spreadsheet. Well, the other thing that's funny, Mark, with this whole thing is that, like, we've kind of been saying this the whole time. Inventory's rising, but people aren't dropping their price. So people, and I see it even in our comments, a lot of people, well, because they got to sell for 50% cheaper. They got to this, they got that. But people aren't doing it. They're waiting this out. They're not doing it.
Well, take it off the market because you're not going to get that price, right?
This is the condo sales.
This is for June, right?
Year to date, Mark, we're down 47%.
Yeah. It's massive.
Massive.
And look at the actives too, right? Even in low price ranges, 4 to 5, 66, 15 have sold, 5 to 6. Look at the inventory levels. It's changed now because we're in July, but it gives the audience an idea. A lot aren't selling.
No, I think I have the mid-July stats.
Yeah, you have them somewhere. Make sure you update that sheet because you did have them. We did the video last week. But it's fine anyway. Like, right, the inventory levels are really high throughout the board, right? And that's not going to change. Like, we're not seeing a lot of product being turned over. And I've been saying it almost every video.
Right there.
People are sick of it. Oh yeah, great. That the pricing is wrong. The pricing is really misunderstood in this market today. And we got sellers like that. And I tried to do some deals on properties where someone's bought it 2022 and couldn't take a loss. I'm sorry. That's the market. That's what the market is. You go play a financial, God, I got a stock and it went down $10 and down 10K. Market doesn't give a shit. I don't care. You want to sell it or not? I don't care. But there's not a buyer for it at $20 a share. buyer maybe at 15, but not 20. And this is no different. We are in a market. And I think if sellers want to move the inventory and are pressured to sell it for whatever reason, you have to adjust the price. Go through some of the inventory levels in certain ranges, Dan.
Right
Freehold.
here.
Yeah, so that was July 15th where we did a video, and there's the inventory ranges. Look at the
4 to
sales.
5, 61, 500 to 600, 68, and only 6 sales. Like that's a year almost of inventory sitting there. That's 11 months.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
6 to 7, 31, only 2 selling.
Yep, yep.
You see what I mean? Like in the overall scheme of things, like there's so much inventory sitting there.
There is, because a lot of it's not priced properly.
Well, and like they said in the article, like the article said it perfectly. People
Did.
aren't willing to drop the price.
That's it. That's it. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. How many times have we gone through videos and done videos and pull up active listings and said, and you keep going, holy cow, what? They're asking, what? Oh, look at how many days on market. Triple days at market. Sure, there's a price drops. Sometimes no, sometimes yes, but still not priced properly.
Well, you know what
Go to the freehold one too. You should go to the freehold too.
Okay.
I think that's important too.
Yeah, but the other thing that surprised me was that when I was going through all this, there was a lot of them that did not pay a huge amount of money.
I know, but no,
it wasn't like everybody bought in the height. Some of them bought in 2018 and 2019, and they paid a low price.
I know.
And well, they're still not dropping.
No, look at the call you got last week.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we paid this, but we want $1 million. You want $1 million? You paid 2. You want $1 million? That $1 million today is an 850, maybe.
There you go.
You can go to July's if you want to go through July or year to date.
Okay, yeah, we can do July.
It's the most recent, so it's probably the best one to do. So
it's right there.
So go through the numbers. Might as well go
so like there's not a lot in the lower range anyway, so we're down 21%. But like so 6 to 7, 14 sales, 72 active.
Right.
7 to 800, 6 sales, 108 active.
Right. I know.
8 to 9, 9 sales, 122 active.
Yep.
And then look at over the million.
Yep.
6 sales, 177 active.
And people that are, you know what I mean, thinking of listings now, again, I'm going to say it again, you should get 3 or 4 people going to your appointment to kind of give you a broad spectrum of what people see in the market today. But I'm telling you right now, the numbers don't lie. We didn't make these up. We found them and we put them on air to show, and we see that the overpricing is going. So either it's the agents, Dan, or the home sellers, or both, that really don't understand what market that we're in today. Right? Some do, because we do see some sales, but we're down 21% on transactions at the halfway point in July. I think that number could be greatly reduced if the pricing was more suited for today's market.
Well, and I'm telling people too, like I've had a couple of listing appointments and stuff, and if you don't have to sell right now in July,
I think it's going to be that way for the rest of the year. I don't think we're not going to see gangbusters. Even if we see a rate decrease on Wednesday, it's going to help. It's going to take some pressure off. I think it'll change sentiment. But if you think that it's going to, here's what's going to happen: the sellers are going to grab hope on it, like, oh my God, the buyers all coming back. Just like the last one, everybody was dancing around TikTok and in Facebook Reels and Instagram Reels about, oh, the market's going to change. Ha ha ha! Great, I'm a realtor. Ha ha ha! Nothing happened.
No.
He said, "What are you doing? Like, you look pretty silly."
Well, we knew that anyway. We both said that. Like a 0.25 isn't doing nothing.
It's doing nothing.
Doing nothing.
No, and
you know what I'm waiting for though, Mark? Because I've talked to a couple people about this too. I'm waiting for the 0.25 and the 0.25 and the 0.25. And then all of a sudden buyers think, shit, is there going to be an influx? Are we going to get into craziness again? There's going to be a point where they're coming back.
There will be. Not right now.
No. I agree with you. But when is it going to be? Like,
right.
I don't know when it's going to be.
I don't know what it's going to be. And look at the inventory. There's a lot of inventory to satisfy a lot of people out there right now. So that's not coming down anytime soon. Right? So,
It's
but
gonna happen though.
it will happen. It will happen. But I think we, let's just say in July, okay, we do the quarter point and then the next one September, and then one it's half a point. Will the fall market? You got people thinking, maybe now is the time. Everyone follows
Everybody, yes, because some of the people I've talked to that have called me, they're worried they're gonna miss the bottom.
Yeah.
Like even the one lady last week I talked to, she goes, well, I know that eventually it's gonna go the other way and I'm scared to miss it.
Yeah. Well, you got time right now because we're not seeing anything like that, right? And I know in the spring market, still winter time, gets the phone ring a little bit too, and buyers they've seen, again, low inventory, seen some things, getting multiple bids and losing out on some. Yes, that's normal January, February kind of stuff, right? But we're not seeing that right now, and I don't think that's coming back anytime soon. I think we have a big pricing problem.
Yeah.
That's on it. So, I mean, just be patient. If you don't want to
Well,
sell,
and these mortgage renewals, they're like, they are driving it to a degree because I've had quite a few listings this year where the mortgage is coming up and they know they can't afford it, so they're getting rid of it earlier.
right. And that's a good way to be a little bit proactive with things, right? You don't want to, you're competing with all this inventory right now. Pretty hard to compete in a crowded market right now. Oof. And summer, and look at the weather. Everyone's on holidays. Beaches are packed down here every day. People are out. So there's not much going on, right? So, it'd be interesting to see what the fall market's going to be like. I anticipate we're going to start seeing some more price changes, and maybe next week we do a video on looking at the price changes. We'll go back and kind of see what's, do a couple, some listings and stuff like that to see, because, the ones we do the history on and we pull them up, we go, holy, like, it's just, what were they thinking? And they're still not at the right spot, sweet spot yet for the market. Pretty bad when an agent lists a property at 1.2 and change, and it sells for 960 4 months later.
I know.
That's frustration for the seller.
I know.
At it. What? Do you take that just to get the listing, or is that the seller's price? Well, I don't know. Right?
Well, in January and February, there was a little uptick in sales, eh?
There was. And we're not seeing prices down. We're one or 2 points, I'm going to say, yeah. But considering the transactions are down double digits, we're not seeing prices come down double digits. 1 or 2% is pretty safe. We know where the bulk of the inventory is in any market right now. It's a higher price stuff that's sitting there collecting dust.
Yeah.
Right. Those are tough sells today. Right. So many of those people have been pushed out of that market altogether. So again, then one comes up and we go, holy cow, this is for 8 days. There's a buyer out there for it. Not everyone's squeezed out of this market, but if there's one coming up in a niche area or a real nice neighborhood that's attracted a very, limited supply, yeah, they're going to get some money for it. It's not going to last if it's prices. And I've seen some on Crimson Ridge sell for 1.4, and I went, dated as hell. Backing on beautiful lot, beautiful street, someone in the neighborhood, big house. But, there's not many for sale signs down there.
I know. It depends on the area too, right?
The neighborhood in the area. So the area's going to dictate that. But, I just think people either got to be patient or price the property for today's market, not tomorrow market. I don't really got anything else. I don't know if you got anything more to.
No. Hit the like, subscribe, or drop us a comment.
Yeah.
And if anybody with the crystal ball knows when the market's going to turn, let us know.
Yeah. People want evaluation, let us know. It'd be an honest one. Okay. Enjoy the rest of the day.
See ya.
Yep.
Bye.